Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Rhiannon and today I'm going to be talking about all of the books that I plan on reading in April. Now, I'm hoping that April is actually going to be a really good reading month for me, mainly because I have 2 weeks off of work for Easter. The only problem is that, as some of you may know if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, I have just finished my job at my current workplace and I am going to be starting a new teaching job in a new school on the first day back after the Easter holidays, and so I will have to be in and out of those two schools to just sort my things and to start planning all of the work that I'm going to be doing for this last term. So I am definitely feeling a bit ambitious with my reading this month. However, this isn't technically a set TBR. I don't want to put any pressure on myself to be reading. I have been loving reading lately though, which is obviously amazing, and I would definitely like to keep it that way. So these are just a few books that if I can read this month, I would love to. And as per usual, I've tried to go for a range of different genres, which will hopefully entice me to read a bit more. It will give me a lot of different options depending on how I'm feeling, and so I definitely think that this is a good stack. And so without further ado, let's just dive into the books. So the first thing I'm planning on reading this month is actually a manga, and that one is Full Metal Alchemist by Hiromu Arakawa. This is one that I've owned since my trip to London a few months back, and I've been wanting to get to it ever since. All I know about this one is that we follow a character who loses his arm in an alchemical experiment that goes wrong, and so because of this he then decides to become a state alchemist in order to seek out the one thing that can restore his and his brother's bodies, the Philosopher's Stone. I don't really know much more than that. I don't really want to know much more than that. This is such a beloved series that I'm so excited to finally be starting. It should hopefully be a very fast read as well, and if I love this one I will of course go ahead and purchase the rest of these, as I do think there are quite a few. Next up we have the third book in the Fallen Kingdom series by Morgan Rhodes, which is Gathering Darkness. You guys know, if you've been keeping up with my reading vlogs and my wrap-ups, that I have really fallen in love with this series. It's a YA fantasy series that is often compared to a Game of Thrones. I can definitely attest to that in the brutality side of this. There is a lot of murders, a lot of gore, and it definitely relates to Game of Thrones in that way. However, I wouldn't necessarily say that the plot is similar. In this one we follow four main characters, Cleo, Lucia, Jonas and Magnus, as they find themselves caught up in an oncoming war. They are part of rival families in rival kingdoms, and so they soon have to make some morally difficult decisions in order to either do what's right or to go down the destructive path in order to conquer all of these kingdoms. This series is full of politics, magic and teenage angst, which I am definitely here for. These books are so easy to read, and now that I have read the first book, the characters are familiar to me. I know the setting, I kind of know where everyone is at this point, and it's so interesting to see the world finally be developed a lot more. So this will definitely be one of my first reads of the month. I'm actually quite surprised that I haven't read this one yet, because as soon as I finished the second book I was desperate to pick this one up. However, I did leave off mainly because I've just had the busiest month last month. I have 2 weeks off now and I'm planning to sit down and devour this one. Next up we have God Killer by Hannah Kaner. This is a very recent addition to my shelves. It is a gorgeous Illumicrate edition, as you guys can see, and I don't know in which video I mentioned it, but I have made it a goal of mine now to try and read one subscription box book per month. I'm subscribed to both Illumicrate and FairyLoot, and so I do get 2 special edition books per month delivered to my house, which is fantastic. However, I do tend to put them to the side and then I forget about them for a few years. So this is a way to keep me accountable. I can read the books and then decide whether I want to keep them or not. Not gonna lie, most of the books are still on my shelves because of how beautiful they are, but that definitely isn't a reason that I can use to justify that anymore. I need to have read the story and loved it in order to keep it, and so I'm starting off this little challenge with God Killer. So in this one we follow our main character Kissin, and this starts off with her family being killed by zealots of a fire god. Because of this, she takes her vengeance out on other gods. She has made a living out of killing them essentially. That is until she finds a god that she cannot kill. Skadi, the god of lies, has somehow bound himself to a young noble, and they are being pursued by some assassins, and so they are on the run, where they plan on travelling to a ruined city in order to beg other gods for a favour. And it just says here, pursued by demons and in the midst of burgeoning civil war, they will all face a reckoning. Something is rotting at the heart of the kingdom, and only they can be the ones to stop it. I just think that this is going to be an amazing fantasy book. It is quite a short one as well, so it definitely shouldn't take me too long. I am very interested in it just from the synopsis alone, and so that is why I've decided to go for this one this month, and as you can tell, I am very excited to read it. Next up we have Poster Girl by Veronica Roth, and this is actually a Fairy Loot edition. So I have 2 special edition books on this TBR. Again, it is mainly for the challenge. However, this is a dystopian book, which is something that I don't really read a lot of, and I have seen it get quite a few good reviews lately, so I decided that it was about time I pick it up and see what it is about. Now, I'm not going to read you the full synopsis for this because it is very long, if you can see there. However, there is a little snippet at the bottom that says, with razor-sharp prose, Poster Girl is a haunting dystopian mystery that explores the expanding role of surveillance on society, an inescapable reality that we welcome all too easily. I definitely think that this is going to be an interesting read for me. We as a society now are so accustomed to being filmed and essentially being watched by other people, and so I am very interested to see how it will be tackled in this book and how it will kind of bring these issues to light. The next book I would like to get to is Warrior of the Wild by Trisha Levenseller. This is the author of The Daughter of the Pirate King, which is one that I actually read a few years ago now and enjoyed. However, this was in my last These Books Will Self-Destruct in 12 Months videos. I haven't looked back on it, so I don't know how long it's been. It's probably been over a year, to be honest with you, but I saw it on my shelves. I have been drawn to it recently, and I decided that I would pick it up this month and see whether I enjoy it, because of course the rules of that video is that if I don't enjoy it, or if I don't read it within those 12 months, I do have to unhaul it. In this one, our main character Rizmira has been training her whole life in order to become the leader of her village. But when her coming of age trial is sabotaged and she fails the test, her father banishes her to the monstrous wilderness with an impossible quest. To win back her honor, she must kill the oppressive god who claims tributes from the villages each year, or die trying. So without meaning to, I've chosen 2 books about gods being killed this month, which is definitely a niche thing, and so yeah, I might do a reading vlog where I read both of these and kind of compare them. If that's something you'd be interested in, let me know. But as I mentioned, this is one that I've had on my shelves for a while. It is one that I do have high hopes for though. I am getting Viking vibes from it, which is something that I do enjoy, and so I am hoping that it will be a good pick for me and that I will ultimately enjoy it. Next up, in order to have a break from the fantasy books, I've decided to go for a thriller. That one is The Sanctuary by Emma Horton, and this is one that I picked up on my trip to Waterstones in my last Come Book Shopping With Me video, I believe. So I will leave that video linked up above and down below if you want to check that out. But essentially, I went to Waterstones without any books in mind really that I wanted to buy, and then I saw this one, picked it up, saw that it was a locked room mystery set in a mysterious retreat in the Mexican desert, and you guys know I was sold. I will read you the synopsis for this one because I just feel like it's so creepy. It says, Zoe enjoys her life. She fills it with travel, casual work, and partying with friends, and tries not to think about what's gone wrong in the past. But after a night out clubbing in New York to celebrate her best friend's birthday, Zoe wakes in a stifling white room she's never seen before, with no memory of how she got there. Filled with panic, she searches the luxurious house for someone who can tell her where she is, only to find herself entirely alone in what appears to be a vast, unending desert. That is until, in the distance, she hears a woman screaming. How messed up does that sound? I am so excited to read this one and find out what is actually going on. This one actually reminded me of the film starring Ethan Hawke and Elizabeth Olsen, and I can't for the life of me remember what that film is called, but in that one we have a character that is essentially kidnapped and put in an isolated room, and yeah, it just reminded me of that, so I think that is a reason that I'm excited for this book as well. It probably isn't anything similar to that film, but as I mentioned, just from the little description of it and the synopsis, I feel like this is one that I'm going to love and fly through, and hopefully it won't creep me out too much. Right, I have now made it to the last 2 books, and these ones are a little bit different because I have actually started reading both of these, and my goal this month is to finally finish them. First off, we have Gilded by Marissa Meyer. Again, if you guys keep up with my reading vlogs, you'll know that I did decide to stop reading this one before Christmas last year. I don't actually know why, I just felt like I couldn't get into the story at that time, and I needed to kind of take a break from it in order to come back to it and hopefully enjoy it. It is a very dark retelling of Rumpelstiltskin, where one night our main character Serylda tells a tale that draws the attention of the Earl King. He then sets her a seemingly impossible challenge, which is of course to spin straw into gold, and in her desperation Serylda somehow manages to summon a young boy to her aid. I am currently 173 pages into this book, so I have made quite a dent. I feel like I do remember what's gone on, so it will just be a case of me picking this book up and diving back in. I was actually enjoying the plot of this. It's just at the time, for some reason, I wasn't really vibing with it. I decided to put it down to read some more Christmassy books, and then I never picked it back up again. So I would like to finish this one off and give you guys my thoughts on it. And then lastly, we have this beast of a book, which is The Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons. This is one that I started reading honestly about a year ago now. I got up to page 100 and something, I think. Yeah, 118. So I'm not really that far through, but it's one that I was filming a reading vlog for. It was a booktuber recommends video in which I was reading this based off of Jade from JD Ray Reads recommendations. However, that video of course never happened because I didn't end up finishing the book. I might still include the footage that I filmed a year ago, to be honest with you, because I do have it somewhere, and then just like pick up the vlog from there, because it is still a video that I would like to do, and I would like to do more booktuber recommends videos as well. But this is one that I put down because I was actually listening to the audiobook and reading it physically, and I feel like it just took a lot of my time, especially as I was wanting to listen to other audiobooks and read other books physically, and so unfortunately it got put to the side. I was really enjoying it though, so I will definitely be glad to be diving back in. I don't know if I should reread this. I probably should. It's only 100 pages, but I'll tackle that when I come to it. Again, it's not technically a set TBR this month, however, I would like to finally finish this one, give you guys my vlog with my thoughts on it, and then carry on with the rest of the books in the series if I do enjoy it, because I did buy the second book at the same time that I bought this one, and so if I don't enjoy it, it's not going to be great. But I do have high hopes for it, especially as it's Jade that has recommended it, and we'll see whether I actually get to it this month or not. So there we have it. These are all of the books that I would like to read in April. I know that this is a massive stack, however, I'm pretty confident that I can fly through a few of these. I have a range of different genres, as you can see, which will definitely help me, and I'm very excited for every single one. If you have made it this far through into the video and would like to let me know that you're still here, please go ahead and leave me an axe emoji in the comments below. I've gone for that mainly because of the cover of Warrior of the Wild. It looks so cool, and as I mentioned, I do love Viking and Norse inspired books. So if you don't have anything in particular that you would like to say, but you would like to let me know that you're still here, definitely go and comment that now. As well as that, please don't forget to click the like button if you like this video, and the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content from me. But that is it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It truly does mean the world to me, and I will see you soon in my next video. Goodbye!